his songs were about articulating extreme alienation. And at that age, I felt incredibly alienated, and I just identified intensely with what he was saying.
But it would be their greatest hit, Love Will Tear Us Apart, that would be their most telling tale.
They kind of created this kind of industrial long raincoat type of bleak mystique, this very existential angst kind of thing, and then the guy committed suicide.
As soon as we arrived in Manchester, they said, "Oh, have you heard about?" And I said, "No." He said, "Oh, Ian's dead." And I was like, "Oh," because it was like, you're not really expecting people to die on you, are you? And especially not kill themselves.
When Ian died, I was very upset. Everybody was upset, and it was a terrible, terrible blow.
Returning home to watch his favourite Herzog film on television after what could be described as an argument with his estranged wife, Ian hanged himself in the family home on the 18th of May, 1980.
He just looked like someone who just had sort of doom written all over him, you know. Seemed to me always like he was already had one foot in the next world.
I wrote two pieces of music for Ian. One I called Prayers to Broken Stones. There's a quote from a T.S. Eliot poem, The Hollow Man, and the second tune I wrote was called The Missing Boy.
Watch with obsession, some accident of music. This is a crisis I knew had to come, destroying the balance I'd kept.
It's been said that the fatal combination of the breakdown of Ian's personal life, his depression, drug use and epilepsy ended the life of a poetic thinker that was of immense loss to the artistic world.
I was foolish to ask for so much. Without the...
To some degree one was aware of Curtis's problems, but he was just such a baffling and sort of shadowy, recalcitrant figure. It was hard to know really what was going on. The sort of everyday Ian Curtis was very different from this Dostoevskian figure that you saw on stage, and I mean these sort of spasmodic kind of movements.
Watching the realism.
The Monday after his death, Ian had been due to fly to the US to begin their first tour. It looked like the band was going to be a global as well as a UK success. Devotees of Joy Division can only wonder what could have been.
If Ian had only got on that plane on Monday morning, he'd have got to New York, and he'd have his way across America, which is not the way we like to think about our late dead heroes, but it probably is very accurate. He might have had a pretty wild time and got over the terrible situation he was in at home.
Love Will Tear Us Apart was released just after Ian's death and became Joy Division's crossover hit that moved the band into the mainstream. The second album, Closer, came out shortly afterwards.
I mean, I actually like Closer a lot better than I like Unknown Pleasures. It was such an unusual sounding record. It was like art rock, but it had real tunes, you know.
I don't think I've ever played like one track or this track from either Unknown Pleasures or Closer. When I listen to those records, I listen to them from beginning to end, every time. They're both perfect records. I don't think Joy Division is something you dip into. They're like kind of novels to me, both those records.
After the tragic passing of their lead singer, the band continued, but as New Order. With such hits as Blue Monday and World in Motion, the band has risen from the ashes of Joy Division to achieve worldwide success.
Some rock historian that probably works for Mojo said that everybody that bought a Joy Division record probably formed a rock and roll band, you know.
lots of groups that have been influenced by Joy Division. You know, Nick Cave or Radiohead or Nirvana or Ministry or Depeche Mode or The Cure. You can see Joy Division everywhere.
20 years later, you kind of like look back at Joy Division and you just go, you know, they were so unbelievably good, and they were so unbelievably special, and they were so unbelievably individual.
When something's real, there's a truth to something, then it doesn't fade away. It does continue.
It's always good to review things that you think you know, because they always sound different. I've always noticed that, you know, like Heraclitus said, you can't step in the same stream twice. And it is true that even after a while, if you listen to their music, which you know inside your head, but when you listen to it again, it sounds completely different.
Good night.